News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, real quick, I just got a phone alert. They have sentenced Amber Guyger. Now, she was facing anywhere between 5 years and life, 5 years and 99 years, and she's been sentenced to 10 years in prison for the shooting of Botham Jean.
Seems about right.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders has canceled all campaign appearances due to a health issue. The 78-year-old was hospitalized in Vegas just the other night after experiencing chest pains. Doctors discovered a blocked artery and inserted 2 stents. His campaign says he's resting comfortably, he's in good spirits, but that it has cleared his schedule until further notice. So you're not going to be seeing any Bernie for a while.
Good. Fucking see him in hell. Fuck that guy. He hates this fucking country. Fuck him. He gets these interviews like, are you paying 70%, Bernie? Are you paying 70%? It's not my idea, you old fuck. It's your idea, so you do it. Well, you're not paying? Okay. Fucking idiot.
I think this is Bernie's opportunity to gracefully bow out.
Good.
Yeah.
Fucking punch out.
The best thing Bernie Sanders has ever done was inspire the 1% Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Yeah,
99% ice cream and 1% little chocolate disc on the top that you crack up.
I can say there's one thing I like about him, or I used to like about him, which he's authentic.
I was about to say he's 100% genuine.
100% genuine.
I believe him more than I believe any other politician.
I totally agree. His ideas are horrible. He's fucking horrible, but he means it.
Yep, he sure does. God, I'm getting so many of these breaking news tweets on Amber Guyger right now. Multiple fatalities reported at Bradley Airport near Hartford, Connecticut after a vintage plane crashed Wednesday morning. So this is crazy. 13 people.
Tim from Anaheim. Don't go.
Don't do it. Take up golf. 13 people were aboard a World War II era B-17 bomber as part of a week-long air show with this vintage aircraft stuff. And the plane reportedly shortly after takeoff, tried to return to the airport, went down at the end, slid off the runway. There were 13 people on board, 2 pilots, 1 attendant, 10 passengers.
Went down at the end, slid off the runway.
Yeah, it got off the air, got off the ground a little bit, went back down and slid into a building.
Oh, it didn't turn around. I mean,
I don't think
never
so.
got air. I never really got the speed.
Doesn't sound like it. Also, somebody that was injured when it slammed into the building used to house the airport's equipment. Authorities say they haven't released an exact death toll because they haven't identified everybody. But
yeah, it's a weird. Like, I'm not a big regulation guy, but those planes are 70 years old. They're not in the greatest condition. I mean, they refurbished them. Yeah, right? They are retrofitted, but it's like there's only so much you could do with 1939 technology. You know, they're not modern airplanes, and things fail. And we used to live in a time when things failed, and that was fine. Like, they'd go, okay, 300 planes are going to go bomb the Strudeldorf, and 200 will come back, and that'll be an acceptable loss. And we don't have no loss is acceptable anymore, and thus that old technology. It's like it's just too full of possibilities.
Yeah.
There's too many moving parts in those planes, and everything's analog, you know.
Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Beyonce's father revealed that he's been diagnosed with the disease. So Good Morning America teased an interview with 67-year-old Matthew Knowles, who will soon share about his personal battle with breast cancer. Now, breast cancer is very rare in men, as I'm sure you could guess. More than 99% of the cases are women with breast cancer. However, the cancerous tumors in the breasts of black men tend to be more deadly, according to cancer.org. Now, Matthew Knowles, he managed Destiny's Child for quite a while, and they had a little falling out with Beyonce, but the tension seemed to ease once the grandchildren came around. But he's been diagnosed with breast cancer, which does not happen
that is
very
systemic
often.
Racism, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Can't really blame Whitey on that one, but that is systemic.
But we'll find a way.
Yeah, well, there'll be something about the stress of being a black man or something like that. I see black guys. I don't feel like they're as stressed as I am. I feel like the Jews are super stressed.
Oh, God.
Maybe the Asians.
Gewalt.
Black guys do seem a little more chillaxed.
Chill.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be the syrup.
It's good.
Carcinogenic.
That's right. But it chills. But they chill.
Well, speaking of which, in England a few days ago, an American breast cancer survivor became the first person to swim the English Channel 4 straight times.
Hold on. Is Beyonce talking to Dad anymore?
Now, I think because of the grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't going well in the business department.
Mm.
And remember, Mom was making all the costumes, and there was the House of Darien. Is that it? I don't know, you probably weren't as plugged into this as I was.
Yeah. I hope that never happens with our kids. Like, I hope Natalia doesn't become famous and then have a falling out with Olga. When she manages her career.
Yeah.
Well, they'll reconcile when
Yeah.
Olga's husband gets breast cancer.
It never works because no one is ever really meant to be a manager, and no one's really meant to be a superstar. So you have these two entities that are like neither one of them knows what they're doing, and they're both thrown into the deep end of the showbiz swimming pool, and it can never work.
Well, especially if they know each other previous to the stardom.
Yeah, I mean, look, first off, half the fathers and daughters don't even get along based on not much.
On nothing.
Yeah, my sister was able to hate my dad with no financial prerequisite at all. She just doesn't like the guy. Like there wasn't like, well, he squandered $100 million of my.
Nope.
No, none of that.
Didn't take much.
Didn't take much.
So here's a happy story with in relation to breast cancer. So Sarah Thomas of Colorado completed this unprecedented swim near the White Cliffs of Dover in a little more than 54 hours. A single swim from England to the shores of France requires more than 20 miles of swimming. Water temperatures hover in the mid-60s, and channel swimmers are not allowed any flotation assistance or use of a wetsuit. The 37-year-old, Sarah Thomas, 37 years old, crossed back and forth 4 times.
Is she using? I hate to drop the Diana Nyad bomb on you, but Diana Nyad was the distance swimmer of our generation, and I don't know where she was going, but because of the Man of War, this is the jellyfish or whatever. I think she swam in a big bag or cage. You know what I mean? Like they literally built a
barrier for her.
Yeah, like moving along on the boats, but the octopi or the
giant squid.
I think it was Man of War. I think it was like jellyfish or whatever. It was like a protective whatever, which is like, on one hand, you covered the distance. On the other hand, part of doing it here and not doing it in a lap pool is all of this. You know what I mean?
All the elements. Well, it doesn't say anything about that, and I think you're going to be impressed by this too. She ate all of her meals treading water. Literally not like helping her into the boat for lunch.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best part.
I wonder what she ate. Must have all been liquid, right?
I was going to say the protein pouches with peanut butter and stuff.
The
Plumpy
goo.
nut, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So late in 2017, Sarah Thomas was diagnosed with breast cancer. Her last treatment was about a year ago. She resumed marathon swimming, and prior to her cancer, she made nonstop lake swims of 80 to 100 miles. So she's still going for it.
I love anyone who can really master their brain, which is, I don't think there's anything stopping anyone except for Gina Grad physiologically from being a marathon swimmer. There's no reason why anyone we know at almost any age could not undertake marathon swimming. We just can't do it mentally. There's nothing about, his hands are too small.
Right.
Anyone could do this. There is no barrier to entry other than your brain. And then most people don't have that brain that can just shut off and endure pain for 40 hours. We just don't. Will we have it if our car goes into a snowbank?
We can't get to that point.
But we can't inflict it on ourselves. And the brain that's able to inflict it on themselves, I'm telling you, if there's one thing you're looking for in a passenger, a coworker, employee, employer, whatever, is that ability to kind of do that to oneself, to inflict. And now we're living in a time, we're just kind of talking about the machine and the car and the electronics and analog and digital. We're now in a time where everyone's going to have to carve out a little time every day and inflict something on themselves. It used to all just be about how do we get from here to there? What do we eat? Who do we hump? Mm-hmm. Now it's all taken care of, and we need to inflict a little pain on ourselves. And the people that don't, you see all the super successful people do that. Mm-hmm. And all the people that don't start going off into this abyss. Yeah. And
God forbid anything even remotely inconvenient or discomfort or uncomfortable happens to them. They fall apart.
Right. And thus all these things that are threats aren't threats, and all the times that they feel unsafe. Right. They're not unsafe, It's kind of nuts. And it's a battle in the world of money and air conditioning to throw yourself into that environment. I'm just dealing with that myself because it's right about time for me to get back in the pool. Because
it's getting crisp.
It's no good.
It is brisk out
during
there.
The summer. It's no bueno.
No, it's a treat.
It's a treat. But as the winter starts to head in, it's getting chilly at night. So heading out to the pool. First, anything with Diana Nyad and Man O' War and not a shark cage, but or maybe she just got stung a lot by a Man O' War jellyfish.
Yeah, she's been stung a lot on her. She's attempted it 5 times to swim from Cuba between Cuba and Florida. The 3rd time, she really got some bad Man O' War stings.
Damn,
it sucks. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, they could just brush by you. You hardly even know it, and then your arm is on fire.
It also causes respiratory distress, which that's what caused the swim to end.
Is she going from Florida to Cuba or going from Cuba to Florida? I would have thoughts. I don't know. Maybe
Cuba to Florida.
There's a title thing.
Yeah, Cuba to Florida.
Also be funny if you saw some refugees who were tying inner tubes together and putting a 55 Chevy on top of it to power, and you're like, "Wait, I'm going to swim." You guys,
water's fine.
Don't you guys have trunks here?
We'll be right behind you.
Do you not allow you to have cutoffs here? Because we're going. I'm going.
Let's go.
Yeah, here's some plumpy nut. Let's go. And then imagine all the people who tried to make the journey and drown, and boat got swamped and all that kind of stuff, and I've lost 3 kids, and this bitch just swam.
Didn't have to be that way.
That's a shaming experience.
Yeah, very.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Insult to injury.
Also, they're all standing on the beach just longingly staring at Florida, and you're like, well, what are you doing here? Oh, no, I motored here. I'm going to swim back. You're not trapped here?
No.
Well, I'm just going to swim back.
I could choose to stay, but why would I?
Do you want to join me?
It's a shit show over here. I'm going to swim it back.
Yeah.
You want to go?
I've already stayed too long.
All right, Gina, what else?
Well, the NYPD will beef up security at theaters showing the Joker, or just Joker, this weekend. A few days ago, the LAPD said it would do the same thing, despite there being no credible threats connected to the movie.
It's a sweet detail for cops, right?
Yeah. Go see a flick.
The best detail for cops used to be, they're filming a movie. You got to sit at the end of the street and eat, make sure no traffic comes through. But now watching first-run movies.
Yeah. Opening weekend.
You should pray.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Plum assignment.
I always think about that with security guards at concerts. They're beyond the front row. They're frontest row.
I know. But I don't like it when they face the wrong way and everyone else is rocking out to Dave Matthews and the big black dude's just standing there with his arms, just arms folded like a dance whitey.
I don't think the big black guy would enjoy the Dave Matthews.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I picked them. Yeah. But I'm still saying I don't like when that guy's sedentary and I'm rocking out.
Yeah.
Now, I would argue, Bald, you be my police captain. Yeah. You be explaining to me that I need to head down to the Cinerama Dome to protect the good folks of Los Angeles because the Joker's coming out. And you want me to keep it more official. I'm going to explain my tactics.
Walensky, step in beside my office. I got your assignment for today. You'll be down at the AMC in Century City watching people make sure they don't blow up at the Joker screening.
All right. That's good. That's good. I want to see a movie anyway. Of course, head on a swivel, keeping a constant vigil on
you'll be probably mostly back to the screen, eyes to the crowd is pretty much how we're going to work this detail.
Yeah. Like I said, I do like the whole Batman series, and this is like the prequel with the Joker's origin story. They call it. Anyway,
sure, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, no, I definitely am on the clock, getting paid for sure.
Right,
for sure. But let me float this.
Okay.
I know you want me in uniform and you want me standing there with my back to the screen and my arms folded and stuff.
Police presence to be helpful.
Yeah. Wouldn't that make me easier to spot?
Well, that's kind of the idea.
Okay, but what if I put my sweatpants on,
With your uniform? Like over your uniform?
Well, that'd be crazy. No, sweatpants.
I agree.
Put my sweatpants, my Rams jersey on, right? Put my flip-flops on, right?
Again, over the uniform?
No. You're getting confused. No uniform.
Okay.
It's just plain clothes. All right. I sit in the back. I face the screen.
Uh-huh.
I look for trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because that guy could barge in, spot me, focus on me, and then leave all the civilians in peril.
That's,
you know what I mean?
Completely
so
the idea.
I want to
exactly
blend
what we're
in,
going for.
and I do. They serve beer at a lot of these theaters now, right?
I believe they do.
I've seen like a Stone IPA.
Yeah, they sometimes have them on draft.
So remember I was talking about blending in?
Right.
I feel like if I'm sitting there wearing my blues with my arms folded and a shiny badge and all that kind of stuff.
Again, very
I'm gonna
effective
stick
deterrent.
out like a sore thumb. Hey, when's the last time you flew commercially?
Well, geez, 6 months ago, I went to my nephew's wedding.
Yeah, didn't ask where you're going.
Okay.
All right, I know this is your office. I should have a little more respect in my tone.
I'm really putting up with a lot here.
Yeah, okay. Was there a sky marshal on your flight?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Oh, because he didn't.
Right, you don't know. You don't know.
I am the captain of this precinct, and yet I am
don't
being
know.
introduced
You
to a
did not-
lot of good
you did
ideas
not
right
know.
here from
Did
my
you know?
underling. I
Hey.
did not know. I did.
I know you keep scotch in your desk.
You knew that?
Well, I've seen enough TV shows where the guy
he's
had a rough
playing the
day. And
odds,
everything. Mind if I just have a hit?
As long as I don't admit to having it, yes, you may.
All right, is it Cutty Sark?
How did you know?
All right, so I just need you to buy me some tickets. And again, I don't know if they have drink coupons or whatever it is. You know what? I'll have a few cold ones and just turn in the receipt.
If you sign up for the Stubbs membership when you're there, they'll give you credit for the tickets that I bought you.
Okay, I'm just floating this. Also at the same Cineplex, they got the new Brad Pitt space movie
Oh,
playing.
yeah, at Astra. I've heard mixed things.
I'd like to check it out.
Well, see for yourself, the quality of
What kind of on the clock?
Right. Oh, I was thinking when your shift, when the movie ended.
Protection. Those people need protection as well.
Right. You're going to be in one theater than the next, and you're going to bill us for both?
No. I'm going to watch the whole Joker movie, have a couple IPAs.
Okay.
Again, I'm wearing my Rams jersey, my flip-flops. I want to blend in, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then when that's over, I'm going to go to the next theater and I watch a Brad Pitt space movie. Not as dangerous, admitted, but those people deserve protecting as well.
That's a really good point.
I'll have a couple of cold ones. I'll turn the receipts in.
A couple more cold ones?
Well, the movie's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then, for the, I don't know what I get. Mike and Ike's good and plenty. I'll see what they got. I'll turn that stuff in. Later on, when I get home, I want to watch some porn.
That's fine. That's completely up to you.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm still technically on the clock. You know what I mean?
You're technically off the clock. You were at your home watching pornography.
I feel like my family needs protection.
They might.
Yeah.
But again, this is the definition of off the clock.
I'm going to pick up a double IPA on the way home.
Wait, you're going to be watching pornography with your family?
Well, we're not all in one, but it's not like we're in a big tent together. There's separate rooms with doors and stuff. I'll hit you with the bill for the porn subscription and the IPAs I pick up on the way home. Well, okay. By the way, if it helps, when I'm watching porn, I will be in uniform.
Wait, what happened to the Rams jersey?
No, that's for the theater. That's
You're
where I'm blending
change
in.
Back into your uniform when you get home?
I want to present a look of authority. When I've been busted masturbating before, and I've had to answer a lot of hard questions, and I feel like in the uniform, I can flip the script.
You want to present?
my wife comes in and goes, "You're
Right.
beating off," and I go, "Oh yeah, well I got questions for you," and I would, flash the tin and start asking questions.
Make sure you tell her you're on the clock so she understands.
You said clock?
I did.
Okay. And see. Thank you.
That's how that would go.
So I'm really glad they're going to be out there patrolling these theaters. It's going to be important. Important work. Notorious prankster Vitaly Sidyuk has struck again. This time his victim was Justin Timberlake. The singer and actor was headed into the Louis Vuitton Paris Fashion Week show with his wife, Jessica Biel, when this man struck, grabbing Justin's legs, trying to knock him down. We have a little footage for you.
Is that guy?
He does this a lot, really going after his leg. Everybody's screaming.
Timberlake wearing something weird on himself?
Like a man
Yeah,
purse.
a human being.
I was wearing a man purse and a human being.
Yeah. So fortunately, security jumped in and got the guy off Justin. But Vitaly has attacked Gigi Hadid, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt. In 2013, he rushed the stage at the Grammys. That's his thing.
all right, I don't want to be uptight, but in a world where we don't really know if it's a nut job with a AK-47 in a movie theater or some internet dude, can we just lock him up? Like, what you do it 5 times. Like, hey, man, we're not here to accommodate this.
And his pranks aren't that clever.
Right,
well,
these aren't pranks. This is you grabbing guys' pant legs.
Everybody thinks they're Borat. Everybody thinks they're Bruno, and they're not doing anything clever.
It's like saying you're a stuntman just like jumping off, like a ladder. It's like, all right.
And also, if whoever the famous celebrity is ever kicked that dude in the bridge of his nose with the heel of their loafer, they would be sued out. At some point, their guy would be going, just give him $2 million and make this go away. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
I agree. That's like, we sort of talk about the SNL guy and he doesn't make it because of the racial whatever. And we're like, yeah, more would be forgiven if he ended the tirade with a punchline.
Right. Something clever.
This prankster needs to put a little prank in his stir. You know what I mean? Like, I end it with something, have a little something.
Yeah.
Goof on them.
Yeah. He's literally just trying to knock him over.
Yes. All right. Let's put that guy in my special van that transports people that can't fly. Take them to Misfit Broken Toy Island. All right, let's do 2 more.
All right. Well, John Cena, he's always working. The WWE star stopped by The Ellen Show on Monday to talk about his upcoming film, Playing with Fire, and revealed that he's never, ever taken a vacation. This surprising confession was prompted by Ellen, who mentioned an interesting fun fact that she had heard and wanted to see if it was true. When asked to recall the longest time he spent away from the ring or a film set, Cena had a shocking response, saying that he's never gone anywhere for fun more than 2 days because he's just jonesing to get back to work.
Yeah.
Never taken one.
You do realize, like, I don't know, the Cenas or The Rock or whatever, and you kind of go like, well, what is it? Or Arnold Schwarzenegger, famously, came here, literally couldn't speak English. Like, how is this guy's going to play a cop? How is he going to be an action star cop,
Yep.
And it was such weird, too. It's like, O'Malley, in my office, yes. And it's like, da. And it's like, okay.
What do you want? What is
I
chief?
could never figure out why they didn't just lay a little backstory down about
never once.
No, they never did. But either way, you realize these guys just out hustle everybody. Yeah. They're not. I mean, they have gifts and they have talents, but not more so than many people. They just never stop.
Yeah,
they just
grind.
Never stop grinding. And I don't know. We had Joe Coy in here, the other day. It's like you just realize it's just the grind. They just never stop grinding.
Yeah,
and I don't know why people are constantly trying to dissect people like this and attribute it to things that we shouldn't attribute it to, whether it's like daddy's money or touched by God or blessed or, the guy was born on third base and thought he had a trip. Like, why are we constantly rounding down to what it is they're doing?
And especially guys like that, we go, well, if I had those muscles, well, guess what? They worked for those muscles. You're sleeping when they're working out for those muscles.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yep. So Cena, we got the clip?
No,
we don't have the clip.
Just letting you know that he's never taken a vacation.
I get that from him.
That's exactly what he says in the clip.
And he made a movie called The Marine, and it was horrible, and nobody liked it, and that should have been a one and done for him. He overcame. You don't normally get to come back from starring in an action movie that everyone hates.
He's quietly a good actor. I'm not saying he's like Oscar winner, but he was funny in Trainwreck. He was really good in a little movie called The Wall. He played obviously a soldier, but he was really, really good in that movie. He's a good actor.
I agree.
Well, finally, very curious to get your take on this story. A woman in Oregon longed so much for the 1950s that she has quit her job, got permission from her husband, by the way, in order to devote her life to taking care of her husband the way a wife in the 1950s would. So Katrina Holtz has been a seamstress for 10 years. She asked Lars, her husband, permission to leave the workforce, and he said yes.
This sounds way better than it is.
And here's a typical day for Christina. Katrina, sorry. She starts her day at 6:30 in the morning. She wakes up and lays out Lars' clothes before making his breakfast and packing his lunch. After feeding herself, she does 15 minutes of gentler exercises like the ones from yesteryear, like the little, maybe running in place or stretching.
Maybe she just has that shimmy machine where she puts the belt around her midsection.
Yep. Takes a handful of diet pills.
Right.
After her workout, she heads upstairs for a shower and full face of makeup, complete with the Pond's cream, the Revlon red lipstick, everything from the 50s. She draws in her eyebrows, and then she puts her traditional hot curlers in her hair. Then, when she is ready to go with the face and the hair and the clothes, it's time to hit the chores. Holtz starts supper around 4 to ensure that everything is ready when Lars arrives from work, and she tends to cook from that era. She likes to do pot roasts and chicken pot pies. After dinner, they play board games like Scrabble or watch I Love Lucy or the Donna Reed Show.
And at midday, she goes to the park and refers to African Americans as Negroes.
She's really
that was at
really
the end.
committed
Actually,
to
it was
bed.
on page 2.
way.
I only had page 1. Would this be? I mean, I know it sounds great, but it seems also a little nutty, little obnoxious.
It does. I think I'm going to guess she's happier, and then binge watching Locked Up Abroad.
Oh, come on.
And complaining about Grubhub being 12 minutes late. Like I think.
Well, this is the life she wanted.
I think the life we're supposed to have is we're supposed to have movement. That much I know. And the service to others is an important part too. Like the
Just the
taking
one
care
guy,
of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for people, that sense of purpose, it depends who you are, depends what you want to do or whatever. I'll take the extreme of, you go the opposite. She sleeps in, and the nanny takes care of everything, and so do the maids. Probably would lead to some depression.
Sure.
I think. So if you think about those days, very philosophical show, but think about those days you had back in the day, sometimes nowadays, but back in the day, when you had that apartment or whatever it was, or the roommate, and at some point you go like, I'm going to clean this whole goddamn place today. Like, I'm going to take everything out of the closet. I'm going to douche out the kitchen.
I'm going to use cleanser in the tub.
I'm going to use cleanser in the tub. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to crank up the radio, and that's what I'm doing on Saturday. And you did it. And at the end of that day, you were like so satisfied,
awesome.
even though you did the most mundane, boring, monotonous, clean the toilet, cleaned out the shelves in the kitchen, put the new paper down on top of the shelf paper when people used to use shelf paper and all that stuff. But there's a real sense of like satisfaction, those kinds of days, that day you went. That day where you just cleaned the shit out of your car, like you vacuumed everything, you washed it and you waxed it and you did all the Armor All on the rubber and everything. Like those kinds of moments, those kinds of days, like the beer at the end of that day never tasted colder or better, right?
And she's opting in for every single day.
I love that gal. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.